What if I told you that the biggest threat to your health, energy, and independence after 70 isn't disease, but routine? Not the kind you plan, but the habits you slip into without even noticing. The familiar ways of moving, eating, thinking, and living that once kept you sharp and strong, but now might be quietly aging you faster than time itself. These hidden habits don't shout, they whisper. And unless you catch them, they can slowly chip away at your freedom, your vitality, and even your sense of self. You see, aging isn't just about what time does to you. It's about what you do with your time. And right now, too many older adults are unknowingly following outdated patterns that make them feel slower, weaker, and more dependent than they need to be. The good news? You're not stuck, and you're not too late. In fact, you're right on time to turn things around, if you know where to begin. In this video, we'll uncover 8 everyday habits that are quietly making life harder after 70. These aren't dramatic, life-altering changes. They're subtle shifts in how you move, eat, connect, rest, and think, backed by science and shaped by real-life stories. Each one has the power to bring you back into alignment with the version of yourself you recognize, and the life you still want to live. From Gilbert, who discovered the power of 5-minute strength training after a fall, to Joan, who revived her spark by reconnecting with her creativity. These stories are your reminder. You still have choices, you still have strength, and most of all, you still have time. Let's walk through each habit together, not with judgment, but with curiosity, courage, and the quiet belief that the best of your life isn't behind you. It's still unfolding. 1. Avoiding muscle-strengthening activity. For many older adults, especially after age 70, there's a quiet belief that rest is the safest path forward. Muscles ache more easily, balance feels a little shaky, and lifting something heavier than a bag of groceries can seem daunting. It's easy to start telling yourself that slowing down is the wise thing to do. But here's the truth. Staying still is not staying safe. In fact, avoiding strength-building movement is one of the fastest ways to lose independence. Muscles aren't just for athletes or the young. They are your body's foundation for standing tall, walking steadily, and getting out of bed each morning with confidence. And after 70, your muscles need you more than ever. Sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass with age, speeds up if you don't actively fight it. But there's good news. Resisting it doesn't mean heavy gym workouts or expensive trainers. It can be as simple as using your own body weight, lifting light objects like soup cans, or doing balance exercises at home. The goal isn't intensity, it's consistency. Every step, every lift, every rise from a chair without using your hands tells your body, I'm still here, I'm still strong. Consider Gilbert, an 82-year-old who once gave up on movement after a minor fall. Fear crept in and he confined himself to the couch and short walks. But his physical therapist introduced him to gentle 5-minute routines, standing on one foot while brushing his teeth, rising from a chair without assistance, lifting small weights during commercials. In just 2 months, Gilbert's legs felt steadier, his posture straighter, and his courage returned. He no longer feared movement. He embraced it. That's the power of intentional strength work. The most dangerous thing about muscle loss is how quietly it happens. One day you're climbing stairs with ease. The next, you're leaning on railings. It doesn't shout, it whispers. But you can answer back with movement. Not to prove anything to others, but to protect what matters most, your freedom. When you're strong, you move without hesitation. You reach overhead for a dish. You kneel to play with a grandchild. You carry your own groceries. These are not luxuries. They are your birthright. It's never too late to begin. Start with what feels manageable, 3 times a week, 5 minutes a day. Use a resistance band, lift light dumbbells, or simply practice standing tall. What matters is that you show up for your body, because every movement is a declaration. I choose strength, I choose life, and most importantly, I choose myself. 2. eating the way you did in your 40s. It's a habit that creeps in quietly. The idea that your eating habits from decades ago still serve you just fine today. 3 hearty meals a day, comfort foods passed down from your mother's kitchen, generous portions that once powered you through long work days or raising a family. But after age 70, the body no longer operates under the same rules it once did. Metabolism slows. Digestion becomes more sensitive. Nutritional needs shift. And yet, so many older adults continue to eat out of routine instead of listening to what their body truly needs now. It's not a sign of weakness to change, it's a sign of wisdom. Scarlett, a vibrant 75-year-old, never thought much about her diet. She ate the way she always had, full plates, heavy dinners, and her favorite pastries mid-afternoon. Over time, she noticed a subtle but growing discomfort. Bloating after meals, fatigue that crept in by mid-afternoon, and a feeling that something wasn't quite right. Her doctor didn't scold her. He simply encouraged her to reflect and make small, respectful shifts. Scarlett began to reduce her portion sizes, added more greens and legumes to her meals, and started listening, truly listening, to her body's signals of fullness and satisfaction. In just weeks, she noticed the difference. Her energy returned, her sleep deepened, and her mood became more balanced. The quiet discomfort she once accepted as just aging had been her body asking for something new. At this stage in life, every bite matters more. You may need fewer calories, but your body hungers for more nutrition. Meals rich in fiber, colorful vegetables, lean proteins like fish or poultry, and hydrating fruits can become daily fuel for your mind, your muscles, and your mobility. This isn't about dieting or restriction. It's about optimization. Think of food as medicine, as a daily prescription for longevity, clarity, and energy. Many elders worry that changing their meals means letting go of joy or comfort. But Scarlett will tell you the truth. She never stopped enjoying food. She simply found new ways to enjoy it. A bowl of warm soup with leafy greens and chickpeas. A baked sweet potato instead of a fried one. A handful of blueberries after dinner instead of a slice of cake. These small adjustments became her new favorites, and they didn't take anything away from her experience. They added to it. So if you're still eating as you did in your 40s, take a pause. Your body has changed, and it deserves meals that honor its current stage. You wouldn't wear the same clothes you wore 30 years ago. Why feed yourself as if time hadn't passed? Embrace this moment. Use it as an invitation to nourish yourself with intention, care, and the kind of wisdom that only comes from living a full life. Let food become your ally. Not just for survival, but for thriving in this rich, meaningful chapter of your journey.
If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward.
3. Withdrawing from social connection. There's a quiet danger that often goes unnoticed in our later years, pulling away from the people who once brought warmth to our days. It starts gently. You cancel a lunch date here, skip a church meeting there. The effort to engage feels heavier. You tell yourself the house is peaceful, the silence comforting. But what begins as rest can slowly become isolation. And isolation, though disguised as comfort, is one of the most harmful habits for anyone over 70. Sylvia, now 80, knows this well. After her husband passed, she believed solitude would help her heal. She turned down invitations, stopped returning calls, and convinced herself she was fine. But over time, her days blurred together. Her thoughts grew cloudy. She lost interest in the hobbies she once loved. It wasn't until her daughter gently nudged her into joining a weekly senior yoga class that something shifted. It wasn't the exercise that lifted her spirits. It was the conversations before and after, the shared laughter, the recognition in someone else's eyes. That simple hour once a week reignited something in her. Connection. Science backs what Sylvia experienced. Studies have found that isolation in older adults significantly increases the risk of depression, cognitive decline, and heart problems. But the remedy doesn't require grand gestures. A 5-minute phone call, a coffee date with a neighbor, a volunteer shift at the local library. These small threads of human connection weave together to strengthen our emotional resilience. Connection isn't just good for the heart, it's vital for the brain. Conversations, even light ones, stimulate memory. Shared stories activate the mind. Being seen and heard reminds you that you matter. And here's something often overlooked. When you reach out, you're not only helping yourself, you're giving someone else the gift of companionship too. Your presence, your wisdom, your laughter, they nourish others just as much as they replenish you. Of course, it's okay to enjoy time alone. Solitude can be sacred, but it should never replace the nourishment that connection brings. There's a clear difference between choosing peace and falling into isolation. The former restores, the latter erodes. After 70, relationships may shift, friends may move away or pass on, but new circles can still be formed. Whether through church, community centers, book clubs, or online forums, there are still hands to hold, stories to share, and joy to be found in the company of others. Don't let silence convince you you're alone. The world still needs your voice. Reach out, even gently. Accept invitations, even if just for a while. Step into spaces where laughter echoes, where kindness lingers. Because connection doesn't just fill time, it fills the soul. 4. Brushing off. Minor health issues. There's a quiet bravery many older adults carry, the kind that tells them to keep going no matter what. A slight dizziness? It'll pass. That extra fatigue in the afternoon? Probably nothing. A twinge in the chest or a little swelling in the ankles? Just one of those things that come with age. But brushing off these seemingly minor health issues can be one of the most dangerous habits after 70. Not because every ache signals something dire, but because some of them do, and catching them early can mean the difference between healing and harm. Walter, at 78, prided himself on his resilience. He'd lived through war, built a family from scratch, and rarely saw a doctor unless absolutely necessary. So when his vision started to blur and his feet tingled at night, he ignored it. Just aging, he told himself. But his daughter urged him to get checked. The diagnosis? Early-stage diabetes? The good news? Because he caught it in time, he was able to manage it through diet, exercise, and a few medications. But the doctor didn't mince words. If he had waited even a few more months, his options would have been far more limited. As we grow older, our bodies become more vocal. They don't shout, but they whisper. And the key is learning to listen. That off feeling in your gut, that sudden shortness of breath, that little fall you brushed off as clumsiness. They all might be your body trying to say, pay attention. And when you do, you reclaim power. Power to ask questions, to get clarity, to act while there's still time to make a difference. This doesn't mean living in fear or running to the doctor for every sneeze. It means respecting your instincts and honoring the body that's carried you this far. If something feels unfamiliar or concerning, say something. Seek answers. And if a doctor dismisses your concerns, don't settle. Ask again. Ask someone else. You are the expert on how your body feels. That wisdom is hard-earned, and it deserves to be heard. There's a quiet dignity in taking your health seriously. Not to burden others, but to stay active in your own care. Because when you delay, small problems can grow. But when you act early, you give yourself more time, more comfort, and more choices. The goal isn't to avoid every health issue. It's to meet them early, informed and prepared. You've spent a lifetime caring for others. Now, it's your turn. Tuning into your health isn't a burden. It's a gift to yourself, to those who love you, and to the many days still waiting to be lived with joy, clarity, and strength.
If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward.
5. Depending on memory instead of writing things down. There's a quiet pride that comes from remembering everything on your own. For decades, you've kept track of birthdays, doctor's appointments, grocery lists, family events, all stored neatly in your mind like a well-organized library. But after 70, the shelves of that mental library can grow heavier, and the filing system doesn't always work like it used to. And yet, many seniors hesitate to write things down, as if using notes or reminders means they're slipping. In truth, depending too heavily on memory is not only unnecessary, it can be risky. Take Bill, for example. At 73, he always took pride in being sharp as a tack. He never needed a calendar, managed all the family bills without assistance, and had every birthday memorized. But one week, he missed a specialist appointment. That same week, he took his morning medication twice by accident. The realization hit hard. At first, he felt embarrassed, even ashamed. But his daughter gently suggested something simple: a notebook, a place to jot things down. He gave it a try, adding reminders on his phone and organizing his medications in a weekly pill box. The result? Not just fewer mistakes, but less anxiety. He felt lighter, more in control, and more confident navigating his day. Memory isn't what defines your intelligence or your worth. It's a tool, one of many. And like any tool, it changes over time. Writing things down doesn't mean you're forgetful. It means you're smart. It means you respect your time, your safety, and your peace of mind. Even something as simple as a to-do list can reduce stress and make room for more meaningful moments. You stop worrying whether you've forgotten something and instead focus on what matters most. Modern tools can help too. Sticky notes on the fridge, a whiteboard in the kitchen, a wall calendar by your favorite chair, or even setting alarms on your phone for pills or appointments. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of strength. They're small strategies that support your independence and give you clarity when things feel jumbled. As you age, your brain is filled with a lifetime of knowledge, memories, and emotions. It's only natural for short-term recall to become a little fuzzy. That's not a failure, it's a fact. But you can support your brain the same way you support your body. Just as you use a cane or handrail to steady your steps, you can use notes and reminders to steady your mind. There is power in preparation. There is peace in structure. And there is pride in knowing you're doing what it takes to stay safe, organized, and in control. So don't hesitate to write it down. Your mind has carried you far. Now it's time to give it the backup it deserves, because even the strongest minds need a little help now and then. 6. Avoiding technology entirely. For many older adults, technology feels like a foreign language, one they're too tired or too intimidated to learn. The buttons are small, the apps are confusing, and the jargon seems endless. It's easy to say, "That's not for me," or "I've lived this long without it, why start now?" But in reality, completely avoiding technology after 70 is like locking yourself out of a room filled with tools that could make your life easier, safer, and more connected. Technology doesn't have to be overwhelming. In small, manageable doses, it can actually restore something that aging often threatens: independence. Louise, a 79-year-old grandmother from Ohio, used to rely on her daughter for everything tech-related. Prescription refills, checking appointments, even simple reminders, one call after another. She felt increasingly dependent, even a little burdensome. But her grandson decided to change that. He spent a few weekends showing her how to use her phone's calendar, how to ask the voice assistant to set reminders, and how to access her clinic's online portal. At first, there were mistakes, missed taps, wrong passwords, a little frustration. But within weeks, Louise was checking her own schedule, getting prescription alerts, and even sending cheerful good morning texts to her church group. And with each new skill, her confidence bloomed. Technology is not just for the young, it's a gateway to empowerment for seniors. Want to manage your medications better? There's an app for that. Want to see your grandchildren's latest photos? One tap away. Need to ask a question in the middle of the night? Voice assistants like Siri or Alexa can help. Feeling isolated? You can join a Bible study, a book club, or a support group. All online, all from the comfort of your home. Of course, learning something new can feel frustrating, but no one expects perfection. Start with one small task. Learn how to check the weather, send a text, or set an alarm. Ask a friend or family member to show you. Slowly, patiently. Write things down as you go. You'll be amazed at how much you can do once the mystery fades. Refusing technology might feel like self-protection, but it's often self-limitation. And the more the world goes digital, the more important it is to stay even slightly plugged in. You're not just keeping up, you're opening doors. Doors to better health tracking, safer emergency alerts, richer family connection, and easier daily routines. Don't let fear of looking silly keep you from trying. Everyone starts somewhere. Your willingness to learn, even a little, proves that you're not done growing. In fact, you're just evolving. You've adapted to every other challenge in life. This is just one more. And on the other side of that effort, freedom, confidence, control. So take that first tap, that first voice command, that first scroll. Let technology become your ally, not your obstacle. The future isn't just for the young, it's for the bold, and you, without a doubt, are bold enough to begin. 7. Refusing to prioritize rest and recovery. In a world that often glorifies busyness, it's no surprise that many seniors still feel pressure to stay constantly productive, even in retirement. After all, they spent a lifetime working, caregiving, and pushing through exhaustion. So when their body starts whispering for rest, an afternoon nap, a slower morning, a day with fewer commitments, they often brush it off. But refusing to prioritize rest and recovery after age 70 is not an act of strength. It's a quiet form of self-neglect. Because in later life, rest is not a luxury, it's medicine. Harold, a 76-year-old retired construction supervisor, was the kind of man who never sat still. Mornings started early, chores filled the day, and any time spent sitting felt like wasted time. But over the years, he began to experience deep fatigue, aching joints, and brain fog. His doctor told him something unexpected. "You don't need more activity, you need more recovery." At first, Harold scoffed, but he gave it a try. He started taking short rests in the afternoon, stretching before bed, and using a sleep mask to get deeper rest at night. Within a few weeks, the change was remarkable. His body stopped aching so much, his mood lifted, and his energy levels stabilized. Our bodies at this stage of life do incredible things every day just to keep us going. The heart beats over 100,000 times. Lungs breathe in thousands of gallons of air, cells regenerate, and muscles repair themselves. But without rest, this quiet labor begins to break down. Skimping on sleep, skipping breaks, or pushing through soreness doesn't build resilience. It slowly drains it. And often we don't notice the toll until it's already taken hold in the form of fatigue, weakened immunity, or emotional burnout. Prioritizing rest doesn't mean doing nothing. It means creating intentional space for your body and mind to recharge. That could be a short nap after lunch, a quiet evening with soft music, a moment of reflection on the porch, or gentle stretching before bed. It means giving yourself permission to slow down, without guilt, without justification. Recovery is where healing happens. It's where your strength is rebuilt. And it's one of the most compassionate choices you can make for your health. Too many people over 70 believe that slowing down is a sign of decline. But true wisdom lies in understanding what your body needs and honoring it. You've earned this time. You don't need to prove your worth through constant motion. In fact, by allowing yourself to rest, you become more energized, more focused, and more emotionally balanced. You reclaim the energy you need to do what you love and to be fully present for the people you care about. So the next time your body says pause, listen. Don't dismiss it. Embrace it. Rest isn't the opposite of living fully. It's what makes living fully possible. You don't have to keep pushing. You only have to keep listening. To your breath, your body, your heart, they know the way.
If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 7 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward.
8. Ignoring the mind-body connection. It's easy to focus on physical health as we grow older, managing blood pressure, taking medications, attending checkups. But what many people over 70 overlook is the essential connection between the mind and body. Mental engagement, emotional fulfillment, and psychological well-being are not separate from physical health. They are deeply woven into it. Ignoring this connection can lead to fatigue, confusion, loneliness, and a quiet loss of vitality that no pill can fix. Aging well means tending to both sides of the equation, because the mind and body rise and fall together. Joan, 81, was physically healthy. Her checkups were good, her medications managed, but inside she felt restless, uninspired, and strangely empty. She thought it was just part of getting older, but everything changed when her granddaughter gave her a sketchbook and asked her to paint like she used to in her 20s. At first, Joan hesitated. It had been decades, but she picked up a brush, then another. She joined a local art group. She began journaling in the mornings, writing little memories and reflections. Within weeks, her energy changed. She smiled more. Her thoughts were clearer. She even started sleeping better. What had shifted wasn't her body, it was her spirit. You see, the brain is not just an organ, it's a garden. It needs sunlight in the form of joy, water in the form of learning, and rich soil in the form of connection. When we engage our minds with curiosity, whether through reading, puzzles, music, writing, learning new skills, or sharing stories, we nourish our entire being. This kind of mental activity doesn't just pass the time. It sharpens cognition, elevates mood, and gives life meaning. For many older adults, it's tempting to say, "I'm too old to start something new," or "that's for the younger generation." But that couldn't be further from the truth. The brain has a remarkable capacity to grow and adapt at any age. And more than that, the heart longs for purpose, for creativity, for connection. Whether it's joining a choir, rekindling a passion for photography, mentoring someone younger, or learning to use a tablet to explore interests online, these experiences don't just stimulate the mind, they uplift the soul. And it's not just about hobbies. Emotional health matters too. Talking about your feelings, expressing gratitude, seeking therapy if needed, these aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of courage. A healthy mind supports a healthy body. Stress, grief, and unspoken sadness can manifest physically. But joy, hope, and engagement, they have a healing effect that's real and measurable. So don't ignore your inner world. Don't let your days become repetitive and empty. You're not finished growing. You're not done discovering. Let your mind stretch. Let your heart open. Every new book, every new connection, every moment of reflection is a gift to your health. Your story isn't over. It's evolving. And the more you nurture your inner life, the richer that story becomes. So don't ignore your inner world. Don't let your days become repetitive and empty. You're not finished growing. You're not done discovering. Let your mind stretch. Let your heart open. Every new book, every new connection, every moment of reflection is a gift to your health. Your story isn't over. It's evolving. And the more you nurture your inner life, the richer that story becomes. As we grow older, Life invites us to trade urgency for intention and noise for wisdom. The habits we've carried for years, whether it's pushing through pain, eating without reflection, or withdrawing quietly from others, begin to show their cost. But aging isn't about decline, it's about refinement. The key lesson here is that small, conscious shifts in daily life can restore the energy, clarity, and freedom that aging often tries to take away. Strength doesn't come from doing more, but from doing what matters. Joy doesn't come from crowds, but from meaningful connection. And health isn't preserved by ignoring the body. It's nurtured by listening to it. There's power in slowing down, not to stop, but to notice, to reclaim your breath, your strength, and your direction. The deepest truth? You are not done growing. You are still capable of learning, adapting, and choosing a path that honors who you are today. It's never too late to rewrite the habits that no longer serve you. With intention, every day becomes a chance not just to age, but to live, fully, clearly, and with purpose.
Thank you for joining us today. We would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today, how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue to create great content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.